Hello, I hope you're doing great. In this video, I am going to show you how you can create your own Azure Key Vault directly on Brainboard. So let's get started. The first thing I've done is to create it from scratch. Then I've selected Azure as my cloud provider. For the first resource, I'm going to use a location, and then I will modify the resource name and the location itself. So West US. I will make this location bigger to now include a resource group. In the resource group, I'm going to modify the resource name and the name itself. As you can see, because I've already included the resource group in my location, I already have the location already pre-filled. So now I'm going to make the resource group bigger to include a key vault. So we're going to look for key vault here, and we're going to drop it here in the resource group and in the location. The resource name we're going to modify it is going to be keyv. The location is already pre-filled as well as the resource group name. The name is this one. SKU name, we need to change it. It will be standard, and the tenant ID is going to be var tenant ID. Now we will include a key vault access policy in the resource group and in the location. We will modify the resource name. The key vault ID will be, and the object ID will be this one, and tenant ID here. Now this one I can say that it's key vault access policy, and this one I can say that it's key vault. Now we'll include another key vault policy in the resource group and in the location. We will modify the resource name here. The key vault ID will be the object ID this, and the tenant ID will be this one. Here we will modify it. It will be key vault. So it will be key vault access policy for web app, or we can actually simply use access policy for web app. This one can be the access policy. This one, and the resource group, we can actually see that it has tags. So if everything is good now, certificate, so key vault certificate, we look at it here in the resource group and in the location. The resource name is going to be the key vault ID here. The name will be this one. Then we have the tags already pre-filled, but we don't need them. The issuer, the key properties, the size will be 2048. The key type will be RSA. Here we need, and here we need. The issuer parameter is going to be unknown. Then we have the secret properties is going to be this one. Then we look for the depends on is there. So depends on is policy current. So it's good. We will make it like that. Here we will modify the name. It will be called certificate. This one, yeah, is good. Here we have application service certificate. It's here in the resource group and in the location. Now we simply need to modify the resource name. West US is still included and already pre-filled as well as the resource group name. The name is here. This it's app service certificate. We create a connector between the two, and connector is t underscore vault underscore secret underscore ID. So this is good. Now we actually need to create the variables and to modify them. So we have the tenant ID. So we will create first the base certificate is this one. Then here is string. Value is 1. And then we have the object ID, the string, and the default is here, and the description is object ID. Then we need to have the password. So we will create the password. Here is still a string, and the value, the default is this one. So we are good. Then we have the prefix. The architecture here is a string and Brainboard, and here the description is this one. The tenant ID, we need to modify it, is type string, and default is here, and the description is tenant ID. And then we have web object ID is web object ID is this one. Here is a string. The default is this one, and the object ID is here. And then we have the web tenant string. Default is this one, and the description is this one. So here I showed you how you could create your variables. Here how to design your new architecture and get the code at the same time. And then now we will look at the deploy. So the deploy, we still have the code here. Here we have the provider. And for example, as you can see, you can now write down your own custom Terraform provider block here, and you will be able to see it in the provider. Here we have to do the settings if you want to deploy it. So we have to set up our cloud credentials. So either for AWS, but here we have worked on Azure, so you simply need to do this. Create your new credentials. And then here we also need to have either the GitLab, GitHub, or Azure DevOps to be able to do pull requests directly from Brainboard. So let's say here the first thing we are going to do is to plan. Here we get the Terraform init and the state lock. Everything should be green, so it means that it's already ready to be deployed, as you can see. Here, as Brainboard is a collaborative solution, so if you have invited one of your colleagues to work with you on this infrastructure and he has done an apply, Brainboard will actually detect that there is an ongoing action and then you need to stop the plan before you can actually do apply. Here, for example, simply need to either select Azure DevOps, GitHub, or GitLab. You can do GitHub here, select Brainboard as a project, then you create your pull request. Here you will have the link to the PR with the right name here and all the files that have been modified. And let's say now that you would like to go back to the design. Simply, for example, you would like to add it's just an example to show you how you can create versioning. So for example, initial design. Let's say now that you would like to delete the app service certificate. So let's delete it. Then we create a new version, deleted resource, commit. Now you can navigate between the deleted resource and so you can navigate between your versions. Now let's say that you would like to create your new, you would like to convert that into a template. Simply need to clone the architecture, convert this architecture into a template. Visibility either organization or public. Next. Here is not a clone anymore, so Azure Key Vault, let's say use case. Sync, publish. Now let's say that you would like, one of your colleagues would like to use it then, and let's say for example you are going to project, you are going to template, use case is this one. Simply need to clone this template. You have the diagram here and you have the code as well. I hope this video has been useful for you, and if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. I will be happy to help you. Have a great day.